Yeah, there's no science behind it. All of the studies that have looked at natural immunity show that natural immunity has at least as good of immunity as you get from a vaccine. People have to realize that vaccines are based on what we learned from natural immunity over the last couple of hundred years, how the body responds to a foreign particle, a virus or a bacteria, and then we simulate that with the vaccine. So the vaccine is simulating the natural immunity that I have, but Dr. Fauci discounts it. 35 million people officially have had COVID, but really conservative estimates, even from the CDC, indicate another 70 some odd million have had it. So really, it's over 100 million Americans have had it. Probably 150, 160 million have been inoculated with the vaccine. Together, we have an enormous amount of success with immunity. In fact, the other day I saw that over 65 years of age, 90% of people have now been inoculated. So this is extraordinary success, and yet they say, oh no, we have to inoculate your newborn in the hospital before you can take them home. It makes no sense, and the science doesn't support it.
You're a physician, licensed to practice, have practiced for many years. I thought it was part of the foundational ethics of American science that you could not force people to accept medicine, cognizant people who can make their own decisions, to accept medicines that they don't want and they don't need. Is that true?
Yeah, without question. In a free society, each individual makes their own decision. Medicine is based on your own individual history and ultimately on your choice. Sometimes you get more than one doctor's opinion because all the doctors don't agree on the advice.
Right.
But right now, they're going back to masks, saying it's the Delta variant. Well, there's one large study out of England, from Public Health England, 92,000 patients. And do you know how many people died in the vaccinated wing of this under age 50? 0. Do you know how many people died? There were 52,000 people unvaccinated. Do you know how many people died? 6. That works out to 0.08%, less than the flu. That's under age 50. Over age 50, it was about half as many people died as were dying last year. So the Delta variant is more transmissible but less deadly. But if you say that, Facebook will take you down, they'll chastise you, take away your birthday, and say you're spreading mistruth. But it's absolutely factual. The Delta variant is more transmissible, but far less deadly than the virus from last year.
This seems like lunacy to me. As a non-expert, you are an expert. Are you worried that people in charge of the most powerful country in the world could make baldly irrational decisions, not be challenged on it, not be stopped when they do it? Where does that lead?
The real problem is when we get to groupthink, when there's no more skepticism. And even scientists such as Einstein realized that science, it was important to be skeptical and always challenging each other. And he always said, even I am one experiment away from being disproven. We need skepticism, healthy skepticism. There needs to be robust debate. But realize what Facebook and Twitter are pushing us towards is a world in which there is no debate. There is only one truth, but they promulgate that truth. The truth comes from them, but they're not disinterested people. Look at Dr. Fauci. One of the reasons he's being dishonest is if this virus attaches to the Wuhan lab, and he's been funding the Wuhan lab, it attaches with that moral culpability and responsibility. He wants none of that, but he can't be impartial because any funding to the Wuhan lab now sticks to him, and that's why he's doing everything he can to cover it up.